Welcome back to the playthrough. Welcome, guys. We're MMO sleeping. And today I got a little bit of Roster's theme and a little bit of the Metal Monsters, the Metal Medley. Yeah, strangely enough, this is going to take quite a while, so I know you see the video time length. But yes, we're just doing 2 bosses today. And we're going to talk about the strategies. Strategies that come with attraction that I oh so love so much. Oh my gosh, it's so great how everybody's just strategically tricking you into loving them and holding them and cherishing them forever. Isn't that great, guys? Isn't deceit and general lack of humanity for people's agency great, you know? Isn't it fantastic to just deceive and lie and get what you want all the time? Isn't that fantastic? Let's talk about it. So hopefully you realize the sarcasm in the intro there, but yes, it's kind of bad what's going on in life just in general now, guys. It's kind of bad, if I do say so myself, but it is what it is. We got to deal with it. We got to make the most of a bad situation. And I do cherish the moments that we can share that are quite loving, quite wholesome and whatnot, that you can have with people. But that's the thing, they are just moments. I am honestly at the stage in life where I'm looking for the forever person, where I'm looking for the end game, where I'm looking for something with lasting, with staying power, essentially. And what I'm noticing, the more and more I look around, the more and more I come across different beings, different states of mind and whatnot, is that, yeah, people always have a method to their madness when they want something, ergo someone, and they treat them like a thing, you know? It's oftentimes a lot of different tactics that people will employ to try to portray a certain type of person that they may or may not be, but put on their best sweats, their best clothes. And I can't get behind that. It's a thing that I do see a lot, but yeah. I'll talk about a couple of the methods, but I kind of just want to make you guys aware that this is happening. I really don't want to like strategically pick apart them, because, you know, that's really not how you win this war. You don't fight fire with fire, you know? If you know it's happening, then you should be able to detect it when it is happening. You don't need to know the exact strategies or the exact methods or ways that people are doing this, you know? It ruins the magic, right? But sometimes that magic does need to be destroyed, and I would like you guys to employ your own discernment to, you know, dismantle it if you care to. But this is not one of those schmarmy, larmy learning channels where you just, here's the 5 strategic ways that women will earn your, or here's what she does when she likes you, or, you know, here's what she's doing when she's trying to get you in the bed, or jump your buns, or whatever. This is not one of those videos. I talk about what I see, basically. I talk about my own experiences. I try to, you know, obviously I watch a lot of those videos since I know all the titles, but I try to only speak on stuff or react to things that I have personal experience with, because I feel like that's what this channel is. It's a personal channel for me. I hope you detect the personality within it, and I hope it's fun to watch, to just see the journey of me discovering myself within the realm of RPGs, of Dragon Quest, of VTubers, of life in general, you know. But I say all that to say, you know, that we are going to get into some methods of this strategic attraction. And the first method I will say is definitely mirroring. Guys, when people are strategically trying to get you to like them, easiest way, the most obvious way, the most automatic way that your body does, that you may not even realize you're doing, is you'll start mirroring their actions. You'll start doing exactly what they do. You'll start, you know, interacting in the ways that they interact, just off rip. And Yeah, this was something I definitely noticed a while back, a while forward, but um what's funny about it is that I really thought that I was just being a good leader, you know, that I was just, I don't know. It's sort of how you teach people how to treat you, you know? Excuse me, I'm still a little bit sick, but not too much. I'm feeling a lot better now, actually. But yeah, I thought it was kind of like that, where you know you teach people how to treat you, you teach people how to, you know, give you what you need, and that's kind of what I thought it was, but apparently not. Apparently, it's a way for them to jump your bones, just as well as if you're in a physical space with this person, say it's like a work or a job or a school thing, and they constantly touch you. Like what girls love to do is the poke out of nowhere. You know, you just be chilling, doing whatever, and the hoes just be poking. You know, they poke you because they want you to poke them. It's a crazy thing, man. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate the signs because it's like I feel like the only people that do this are the people who just see that I don't want you like that. And that's not a rude thing. I feel like most people I don't want like that, you know, and strategically when I lock into someone, because I always have to lock into somebody that I do want like that. You know, it's just a way of life. You know, we need a muse as guys. You know, if it's not something that just physically activates you, it's something that emotionally activates you. But yeah, as a man, you do need a muse at all times, I'd say. And very oftentimes the muse can come in many different forms, like I said, emotional, physical, spiritual. And that sort of just drives you forward. That's like your motivation, right? Not necessarily like a greedy thing, you know, because it's not necessarily something that you have to work toward. But the muse in and of itself is something of a motivator factor, you know? And it's implorable to focus on one. Of course, you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you guys how to live your fucking life, man. It's not what we do here, like I said. But the nature of it. Look at me. I said I wasn't tired, but I got this coffee in front of me, and I am yawning like a motherfucker. Oh goodness gracious. Okay, so that was my one failure right there. It's a yawn. That was my one failure. We're gonna continue on. Try this metal medley again, and yes, this will be the entire episode because this boss takes a while, especially when you have an unoptimized team. We don't have anybody here. Well, we do have boomerangs, but we don't have anybody here with any really metal attacks besides the druid summon, who has the multi slash. And sometimes you can just get very unlucky, but we do beat them in the end. We do. Just like, you know, usually on these episodes I do, you know. I like to keep you on your toes, baby. On your toes, baby, for the entertainment factor. And that's the thing with the strategic attraction. Another thing they'll try to do is they'll try to keep you on your toes, just because for the entertainment, you know? It's so funny because this can definitely backfire, especially when you got somebody like me who just doesn't care. You know, you try to keep me on my toes too much and I'll just fucking leave. I'll just be like, well, you know, you're kind of an asshole, so I'm good. Especially when I can clearly see you flip-flop when I say, nah, I'm good. And then I'm like, oh, so you're just fucking with me? Yeah, I'm good. I'm out. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And it's very annoying because even it's like once you get in to the door, it's still so strategic on how they keep you, on what they do to, you know, get you to do things for them. There's just such a lack of honesty now when in the realms of attraction and attention, because it's like you don't need to be. Completely unrequired to be honest. You know, honesty it's truly on the back burner now because the internet and everything being online causes us to just naturally have an air of deception. You know, the low trust society, that's where it all comes in. That's where it all comes together. Because you really don't have to be honest. It's optional. You know, who's gonna tell? You know, I got like 8 different accounts over here. You know, honesty, what the hell? We're not working within those realms. And you can't really ever know who is in your corner. Because like I said, you know, people can hide things behind messages. People can, you know, freeze messages or delete accounts or block accounts or, you know, mute things. There's so many ways to get around telling somebody something and then telling everybody else around them something. So many ways to get around that. And there's so many ways to counteract that counter. And then, you know things that you shouldn't know, but you should know, but you shouldn't know, but you should, but you shouldn't. But you should, shouldn't. It's a very weird world that we live in. But I get it. I understand why people don't leave the house. I'm sorry, I really should be muting for those. Hopefully it doesn't pick up too well on the mic. I don't even think it does, but I still apologize for it because I don't like the sound of that. Even when I make it myself. I'm not a fan. But there are probably worse sounds that I've made on this show. Certainly. And yeah, on top of that, a lot of people are really starving for a connection. For something, you know, something to fuel them, to feel like they actually have a place in the world. On top of the horrible deceit that we all face. And so it leads to this constant loop of, you know, people being very sad that nothing works, but people going back to things that don't work. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense, you know? It's like we should all just be rejecting friends in the way that they naturally are. But nobody really will accept it and just lock in on themselves. As you can see here, my dog wants to be friends with me, and I'm just trying to lock in on myself. But you see, it's always like somebody wanting to barge in your door and just make themselves at home with you. And we are humans, we're wired for connection, I understand that. I understand that to a certain extent. But at the same time, we really do need to lock in on what is meaningful to us. And you know, oftentimes when you really get into it, the friends are not meaningful. Okay? The general act of finding someone who loves and cares about you, it doesn't add meaning to your life. Just say it outright right there. It adds zero meaning. Zero, you know, love or cherishment you need or anything like that. And of course it's a sad thought to think about, but I'll be damned if it ain't fairly truthful. You know, like there's just so far that they can go. And once you drop a lot of this stuff off, you'll start to realize, you know, strategically, attracting yourself is the most important thing. Because that's the longest lasting friend you'll have, you know, is yourself, is this guy right here. And I hate the whole Sigma grind mindset that everybody keeps pushing and just be like, yeah, just keep on grinding, do your thing, man. Then you'll be able to just get whatever girl you want and blah, blah, blah. And whatever. I'd say you gotta grind, yes. But do it so that you can accept and attract that person right there in the mirror, you know, so that person is actually somebody who you love, you know, authentically, just because you've done the work to love them. Just because you've been in them streets, you've been in them caves, and now you authentically love yourself, and you can bring that love onto somebody else. I mean, like, who knows if it's ever really gonna be another person that you elope and share a life with. Who knows? Because this is what I say all the time, guys. We could work all this time. We could be hella hard in our grind and everything. But since we don't change our identity, since we are still that same person underneath, nothing will change, and you'll just be a loser for the rest of your life. Or quote unquote loser. Like, I don't think anybody is a loser until they give up, you know? And it's really over. But, you know, quote unquote, you are at the same point, you know? So, call that whatever you want to call it. But I certainly wouldn't call it beating the game, you know? And of course, we don't want to speedrun it. We don't want to beat the game too fast. But you do want some progress to be made. And oftentimes, the strategic attraction that these women do, the strategic attraction that, you know, some guys even do, it just stops us. It brings us off of our path. No one else is going to bring you there but you. This is why there are so many streamers in the 10 to 20 viewer range, and they'll just always stay there because they just are captured by their audience. They're captured by trying to make friends. They're captured by the ceiling that they've set for themselves, which is other people. You know, you can't do that forever. You gotta lock in on what means something to you. And I feel like that is why this has been growing so crazily fast, is because I've been locking in on what means something to me, which is music, which is entertaining, it's providing a good show, it's connecting with different audiences, and just waking people up to realize that, like, you can do this too. You can. It's hard work. It's very lonely work. It's very introspective work. But you can. And that's the only strategy that I adhere to attract other people. The strategy of focusing on yourself. That's really what does it. You know, that's what's always has done it. It's not like some new craze or phase that's going on in the world. Oh shit, now everybody's focusing on themselves. No, man, this is what has always worked. You know, since the dawn of fucking time. You know, you think the barbarians, the cavemen, you know, they were all focused on everybody else in the tribe. No, they were focused on their club, on making sure their spear was as good as possible so they could get that fucking woolly mammoth, you know, and survive and come back with the tribe instead of being the noble sacrifice under the paw or whatever the fuck, you know. They were focused on that. And because they were all focused on that, but strategically working as a team at the same time, you know, they got what they wanted. They got the woolly mammoth. They got the whatever. And as a team, you know, over here, me, Frost, Ember, Ateru, we are all working with Twitch, right? Twitch is the woolly mammoth, but at the same time, we're working against Twitch. Twitch is not our friend, okay? Dan Clancy is not my friend, all right? I wouldn't even say these content creators are my friend, because, like, this is the thing, guys. We're co-workers, all right? I'd say gone are the days when a friend can just be somebody that's chill and cool and you can hang out with, because the way that people use these friends, you know, it's just really gross. You don't want this label to be on you and on another person, because then they're gonna just think, it's so sad. It's so sad that I have to say this, but, you know, they're just gonna think that they can use you for collabs or use you for, you know, getting some sort of clout, or use you for this or that or this. And people even say that I'm doing that with them. And, like, no, man, I'm not trying to use these content creators for clout. I literally like watching them. I would not, like, if I just wanted to use content creators for clout, I just put, like, fucking Iron Mouse up here or something, you know? I put the content creators that I actively watch up here to show you guys the palette and connect you guys with my personality, basically, you know? Like, this is like actively what I be watching, you know? These are the people that I connect with. These are the people that I respect. These are the people that I like to have fun and laugh and have a chill time with every now and again, you know? And even still, I don't like to call them friends. I like to call them acquaintances. I like to call them coworkers or whatever, because, like I said, man, people just use that fucking thing, you know, as a strategy, and it's disgusting. You know, it's like, yes, I'm attracted to them. Yes, I have good feelings when I think about them. You know? That doesn't mean basically anything that you think it means. It means, in my mind, they're cool people, you know? But a lot of people like to cooperate this into, you know, he's got an agenda, he's got a thing. And yes, my agenda is grinding and focusing on myself, you know? That is inherently an agenda, I suppose. But I know what my intentions are, and the more you try to explain them, the muddier the waters get, you know? Which is why I don't like to get too close to people, you know? Because then I'll have to explain the intentions, and then the waters get muddied, and then it takes me away from the path. And this is what all friends do, okay? At least for me. Whenever I get a friend, a new friend especially, I try to do everything I can for them, you know, to sort of, I don't know, prove my worth, prove my stuff, you know, that I'm there truly in their corner for their wholly their benefits, you know. When in general, it's just not something you need to do for a friend. It's just nowadays with this low trust society, you feel like you have to prove your worth. At least I do. And I know that's not a good outlook to have. Truly, you know, you gotta just let things flow. It's damn near impossible because what I've said at the beginning, I think of this episode, but I say it a lot. It's like, you know, you can be on good terms one day and on bad terms the next, you know, and you don't know why. Sometimes it's just because you don't interact as much, you know. I'm just kind of pruning the crop, you know. You just don't know why, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the general way the world ebbs and flows now, because it's not the way it used to be. There's only so many you know, loving relationships we can hold at once, and so because I like to spread my my reach, you know, I like to have a lot of different opinions from all sides, all angles. I can't treat everyone as a friend. I can't treat everyone as a wholly, you know, loving relationship. You know, some of you guys got to fall to the side. You got to just be acquaintances. You know? Not everybody can be up top as the pinnacle of love and happiness and joy in my life. Ideally, only one person can be that, you know, ideally. But yeah, with the stupid society ways we have now, and the way people freak out over, you know, just general acts of grace and love and kindness, you need like a lot of different muses, because if you put it all in one person, they're gonna crash out. That's just what people do, you know, guys and girls nowadays. It's not even like a gender thing, but people get nervous, you know, when you say, oh my gosh, you're the light in my life. Oh my gosh, you're the only thing that's bringing me out of this darkness. Oh my gosh, I need you here now and forever on this journey of life and death. You're the only thing that's... No, bro, come on, man. That freaks people out. That would freak me out, honestly. I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with this person? Holy shit. They got some demons that I am not qualified to deal with. And you need to understand and discover in yourself where that need comes from, and figure out how to deliver it to yourself. Figure out how to give yourself that love that you need, you know? Because life is an MMO. There's going to be tons and tons and tons of players in it, just roaming around, seeing what's going on. But it's a single-player MMO, you know? There's Party Finder, but, you know, you can do it all by yourself, which is why I love this game, Dragon Quest. Because the entirety of the MSQ you can basically do by yourself. You know, there are some side missions that you can get other people acquainted for, or fight bosses with other people, but for the most part, and this is what I say all the time, I would be so happy if this was a single-player game. I would. It's just a lot of single-player games don't have this level of customization in it. Sadly. I wish they did. They do not. And so this is what we play instead. And I understand that a lot of people just need this validation feeling in their hearts. They feel like nobody loves them. And if you feel that way, then, you know, you're probably right. You know, intuition doesn't lie. But you can, once again, strategically make people like you. Or you can decide to start liking yourself. And watch the people flock in. Because it's like, why does this guy like himself? What the hell is going on here? And it doesn't even have to come all on in once. Like for me, it's not like I just decided to flip a switch and start liking myself. I took the actions that are necessary to start liking yourself, and then I moved on that. and then just slowly but surely started to enjoy looking at the man behind the mirror. But it takes a lot of work. I'm really thankful that I have this channel. I'm thankful for you guys, because honestly, I don't know where I would be without it, because this is sort of like a thing outside of me that I can act like it's not me and that I can work towards, even though it's generally all for me. Right? Because I'm not good at doing things for myself. I'm just not, you know? Whenever I get a new friend, a new lover, a new muse, I tend to just put everything in their basket. I tend to do everything for them. That's just why I love jobs. When you get a new job, you know, you can just put everything towards the new job. You can just go crazy on that new gig or the new opportunity and give all of your agency towards there instead of thinking about yourself. So this is what I've been doing with this channel, although it is supposedly not for me. It is for me, you know. It is. So I want to thank myself. I want to thank you guys for stopping by here today. It's been a crazy time. It's been a time of times. And I suppose I'll end this off with just saying, attraction, it's an annoying thing to deal with, but it's something that we naturally have to do to gain friends. I just say, if you have trouble with it, you gotta be okay not having friends, man. You have to. Friends are not the end-all be-all of happiness. I love you, appreciate your friends. And I will see you next time.
Anybody wants smoke, we got it. Out of the smoke from bitch, you won't know who shot it. Feel the vibes in this bitch. Nobody tries to come in. God figures, my niggas.